Yeah, the city of Austin with the food truck scene has really blown up within the last 4 years.
Austin food trucks are distinguishing.
Food trucks are revolutionary because they have given the small man a chance to compete with the big dogs.
Austin food trucks are badass and the best.
It's where they're from. Food trucks are from Austin. That's it.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, and welcome to Austin, Texas, where we're serving up the American dream, one plate at a time.
Austin's really kind of set the standard for how food trucks work.
You know, food trucks are good for the consumer. Food trucks introduce innovation, competition. They keep the prices down at the brick and mortars. They promote exploration in the food, and that's why they're successful. Austin is looking for cool food. They're looking for different. They're not looking for run-of-the-mill. They're not looking for urban sprawl, strip mall, corporate restaurants. They're looking for something different, unique, something as different and unique as Austin is.
Austin food trucks are here and now, cultural forefront of the 21st century.
Street food is not a new concept. We've had street food all over the world for a long time. It's an ancient tradition to bring your food out to the street and sell it to your community. So food trucks in Austin are just doing this with their twist on it, with their culture, with their community, with their passions, with their favorite foods, with what they wished was out there that they would like to go eat.
You know, I think they clamor for something different, something unique in the food that they get here.
We are creating a competitive nature to provide better food for the people. We're creating a better food environment for Austin, Texas.
It's not enough to pop up on the street with a food truck and serve hamburgers and hot dogs. It isn't a business model that works. The Austinites are looking for something, they're looking for exploration in the food. They're looking for something different. They're looking for new wrinkles and new attempts at different kinds of foods.
You can get the best food in town out of a trailer. Sorry, restaurant owner.
Across America, people tend to think food trucks are the roach coaches. They're the prepackaged foods with sandwiches that were made hours before. This is not what we are. This is a gourmet group of people that is coming out with food that they're passionate about, that is food that they learned from their family heritage, something that they're really proud to serve. And it's just, I mean, it's really good food.
My food is awesome.
My food is constantly evolving.
My food is creative, delicious and affordable and accessible.
Extravagantly delicious. Big fat donuts.
My food is great. It's fantastic. And if you don't believe me, come up and taste it and see how it is.
My food is cool. My food is different. My food brings it.
My food is all over the map. It's comforting, and I like to change it up a lot. We get bored pretty quick.
We found out that Austin loves food trucks when we did the Gypsy Picnic Trailer Food Festival in 2011. We had 20,000 people come out to try the different food trucks. But Austin as a culture, you know, they embrace entrepreneurialism. They support people that want to create their own way of life and to create their own future.
So I started in February 2010 with just probably $50,000 in hand. Tested out the flavors and just up and running. I mean, it's scary as hell, but it's like, give it a try.
You know, Jay Kim is a great entrepreneur who has started with one truck and now he has 8 trucks. His business is Cilantro, and it's a fusion concept, and he's known for having these kimchi fries.
Kimchi is a very unique taste and has the distinct smell to it that people can get intimidated by it. I started just experimenting it on the truck and ended up putting the 2 items that weren't selling and ended up being the most popular items that we have on our trucks today.
You know, Jay Kim is a tremendous businessman. He came to California by way of Korea, knew no English. From California, he eventually ended up in Austin, and he started a food truck empire.
I came to the States with my mom and my sister when I was 11 years old. I didn't know how to speak English or nothing at all. And you know, from a visitor's visa to permanent residence, you know, it's something that you have to go through as an immigrant to the States. I learned English here in this country, but I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always liked the business side of things. I was never good in school, but I've enjoyed you know, working with people. Running my own business means a lot to me, I think. Well, my perspective on life has changed tremendously. I thought, you know, when I first started, I had the most intention to make a lot of money, but I realized it's just not making money. It's about, you know, enjoying life, enjoying the people that you're with. I think the dream has gotten bigger. It's about, you know, growing Cilantro Barbecue into something that, out of a trailer, that could potentially be served in the United States or even, you know, outside of this country. So that's pretty exciting.
You know, the saying is everything's bigger in Texas. Maybe for the food truck entrepreneurs, it's everything's better in Texas. In Austin, some food trucks stand alone and others are grouped together in little pods of 3, 4, 5, 6 trailers. South Austin is really where the food trucks are. If you just want to hit Austin in one day, I would drive up and down South First and get those. There's the South Austin Trailer Park and Eatery where Torchy's Tacos is. There's also Holy Cacao, which is a cake ball pop, and they also do frozen hot chocolate, these type of things. And then there's a Conscious Cravings, which is a vegetarian, kind of eco-friendly type trailer. So the 3 very diverse trailers in that pod. You go a little further up the street to Live Oak, and there's even more trailers in different pods. The other awesome pods are over on East 6th Street. So South Congress really was the place where food trucks formed in Austin, Texas. And when Hey You Can Eat or What and some of the other food trucks were gathering over just off of Gibson and South Congress, it was a pocket that was maybe a little less known about, but it's developed. And the main strip of trailers has moved and they have not. And so they are in this great piece of real estate in Austin, Texas, where there's plenty of foot traffic with all the boutiques, and you could get a great view of the Capitol, and they've got a great spot.
Hey, you gonna eat or what? I take iconic sandwiches, stand them on their head, do something different with them. I introduce a lot of Southwestern ingredients, a lot of Texas influence to things that I do. There have been a lot of things that have been very satisfying about this, but I think probably the biggest thing is that I can react and turn on a dime and do exactly what I want. I am my own focus group. If I want it in front of me, that's what I'm gonna sell. And my guests will let me know if it's the right decision or not. But so far, my palate hasn't failed me.
So I don't know if you've been in a food truck before, but it has less elbow room than your last flight. It's a small space. Often you can only have 2 people in there working at any given time, because it's a long alley of only what you need in the kitchen to make the food that you're selling.
I wouldn't mind having a little more space, I'll tell you that. I'd like a bigger trailer. That's my answer, bigger trailer.
My kitchen is about 10 feet long and about 6, 7 feet wide. And there's only so much that I can do in a space that big.
And there's complications with running a food trailer. So if you're used to working in restaurants, that kind of hospitality environment, you'll be used to a lot of luxuries that we don't have here.
When we get on the truck, we're wishing that truck doesn't break down, the grill starts, the fryer starts, everything's charged up and ready to go. And then hoping that we don't forget, because once we leave our kitchen, we're here and serving, and it's like we can't go back.
Wake up at 8, get prepped, run the lunch shift, come back, clean the truck, go out for dinner, come back, clean the truck, go home, maybe 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it's like an 8 to 11 day. Come home, do paperwork till midnight, 12:30, get up, do it all over again.
If you work in there, you're doing the same, everyone's doing the same job. So you're not a bartender or a cook, you're both all the time, and you're cleaner as well.
The logistics, mountains of dishes, trash. My husband has become a professional trash man on his downtime, and I'm a professional dishwasher.
So in many ways, the food trailers should be viewed as small restaurants of sorts. That being the case, the quality that you're going to get out of here is just the same, and I would even say better than you will from a lot of restaurants. The reason being is because there's not really room for backstock. Everything comes out fresh.
You know, you're a cook, you're a chef, you know, you are HR, you're PR, on social media, and you're pretty much everything, so it's just really hands-on business.
It gets hot in Austin. You know, we have several days that are well over 100 degrees, and then you're sitting in a metal box cooking in an oven. It gets hot in there. If you can't stand the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen, you know.
Super high speed, low drag. It takes a certain type to do it. It's super hot. You can imagine we're in Austin here, what's 101 degrees today? We work inside a food trailer with fryers, grills, exhaust fans from the refrigerators. It's super hot.
There are days when it's so hot and we've worked so many hours, and he and I are just like, we're both individually independent of ourselves, done. You know, that trailer gets to be 140 degrees and it's 110 outside, we're on concrete.
You know, you got the summer heat, it's easily 110, 120 degrees in that trailer, and sometimes, you know, you wonder, why the hell did I do this?
During the winter, it's cold in there. We're huddled around the stove. In the summertime, you can't drink enough coconut water. It's good, and somehow it takes a special breed to get in there and do it. Maybe like a superhero that's a lizard. We prefer the heat. We prefer the sun goes down eventually.
So it's safer and better to eat at a food truck than most restaurants because you have control. You've got one person coming in and doing the cleaning and doing the prep and doing the sanitizing and playing by the rules, whereas maybe in a restaurant you've got 20 staff and you don't know exactly what's been cleaned if you're not doing it yourself.
The Austin Health Department they're strict. I mean, they come out, they check up on us, making sure everything's all right. They're very aware of the food trailer scene and how popular it is, and so I mean, I would put our food trailers or the food trailer scene in general up against any restaurant when it comes to that.
If you're opening a new food truck in Austin, you want to go to the health department, get the checklist. You're going to bring your trailer there to begin with before anything else happens. They're going to go through it with you, make sure that you're in compliance.
When the health department comes around to inspect you, that's a good thing.
You have a very finite space in which to store a lot of food, and you need to be very savvy about the way that you hold your product in a food truck. In other words, you need to order in bulk in order to maintain your profit margin, but that whole need to order in bulk is kind of offset by the lack of capacity to store that bulk. So you need to be pretty clever about what you bring onto your truck in the first place and what you introduce to your menu. You can't have a menu with a bunch of items that are used in one item.
On my opinion, is better than any restaurants. The reason why, because it's clean, it's nice. You see everybody cooking in front of you. You get the connect with the cook, you talk to them, and it's the best place you can eat in Austin.
They may not have the extensive menus of a five-star restaurant, but the items that are coming off of there are so amazing that it makes you crave it. It makes you want to come back. Well, I mean, Austin really likes food trucks because it gives them an opportunity to eat outside, to eat something different, to meet somebody that they haven't met before from maybe a different culture.
Well, the flying carpets has come up from me and my wife. I love cooking. Both of us, we cook. I come from background cooking from my family because in Morocco. And that's my culture. I come over here and I want to share it with people and show them what we cook, what we eat, and pretty much healthy food. That's what it is.
Abdou from the Flying Carpet won the lottery for U.S. citizenship from Morocco. And he came to the United States with $90 in his pocket, didn't know what he was going to do, you know, and he met his wife, Maria, and eventually they started the Flying Carpet.
It's amazing. I mean, like what I said to my wife, when I come to this country, like 1995, and I've been here always, I travel everywhere and I come back and they say, this is my home. Even if I'm born here, I feel like I'm a part of it. And the people is great, wonderful. I mean, they treat you like you are something. They make you feel like great. And it's just like another culture here. I mean, more you live here, more you understand people. From you having a beer with this guy, having good food in the trailer, they come up and you serve them some food and you touch their soul. You feel it. You just say, oh, this is good. You feel the passion and everything.
Our traditions are those of the women of my husband's family. And maybe they didn't have restaurants, but they cooked for their families every morning, every day at lunch, and every night with honor, and they loved serving their kids and their family. And so, yeah, this is a handed-down family business, the Flying Carpet. And it comes from some awesome Moroccan women in Africa who, you know, lived long lives and cooked a lot of good food and gave that tradition to me and my husband.
Because it's, what I've seen is too many variety of people, Chinese, Indian, Moroccan, Mexican, I mean, all you name, Irish, and all those cultures, they meet in a spot and you want to share something. And I feel like the food is not language. I mean, you can struggle by talking somebody's language and everything, but when you come up to the food, you speak up for himself. So that's what you put to the people. And there's a lot of good food. That's what it is. That's, for my opinion, I could feel like it's great explanation to tell people, hey, look at my food, and the other one provides something, and that's how it is.
And then we have a customer come in. We had a guy come in from Iraq with his wife. He was an accountant, she was a doctor. She came out with these huge, she looked like Jackie O, she had these big glasses. And another trailer owner brought them because he knew we served halal food, which in Islam, it's like Jewish people will only eat kosher. So it's a way that the animal is slaughtered. And so he dropped them off, and Abdou comes out, and Abdou's like loads up their plate like crazy with everything from the trailer. You know, we went out there, we gave them the food, and the lady, her tears were coming through her sunglasses. And I realized she was away from her home, and she was scared. And she came here in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and found a Moroccan food trailer run by a Mexican woman and a Moroccan guy on the heart of South Congress. And she couldn't believe the flavors were similar. Now, she's from Iraq, that's in the Middle East, North Africa, Morocco, but once again, there's this ancientness to the food that we eat, and so we've all had this food before, and I think that was like a reckoning for her, and for me to witness that, that's what brings me back to this trailer, is love.
When I serve it to people, it's great. All the combination, from the eggs to tomatoes from my grandmother recipes to the meat, how we mix it. I mean, it's just wonderful things. So far, that's what people said, and I think that's true. It's the soul, it's my heart. I put all the offer, me and my wife, my son, all the families and friends who help us to get to this point, all the neighborhood over here, the community. It just, you feel that when you serve that food, you feel like, wow, this is great. It's like art. When you make an art and you look at it and you say, wow, this is a good picture, that's how I feel about my food.
So Trailer Food Tuesdays, we invite 10 to 12 trucks out to the Long Center, and it's a city terrace, and it's got the beautiful city skyline in the background, and it's a great meeting point in the community. It's right on the hike and bike trail, so if you want to run or bike over, you can get there that way. We have live music. It's a free event, so it's a great place for date night. It's a great place for families. We have different activities, but for the most part, people are coming to try the food at the different food trucks. Every culture is represented there at Trailer Food Tuesdays. So it's got a bar, you can bring a picnic blanket. It's just a really fun event. We usually see 2,500 to 3,500 people in the earlier events, and it's continuing to grow.
I just can't say like they're the greatest people ever.
The people of Austin are loyal. They're loyal people. I think that if you can entertain their palates in a food truck, you're going to find that they come back.
Customers are super loyal fans.
And that's what I experienced. I mean, we have good customers. I mean, it's just without them, we'd be closing, but we've been 3 years in this business and it was great. I love the people here.
My customers are loyal, free-thinking, adventurous, and also demanding.
We've been real lucky to get all these new customers that have become our friends, and I don't know half their names, but they all know mine.
The American dream isn't necessarily 2.5 kids and 2 cars in the garage. The American dream for the food truckers is getting to wake up in the morning and knowing that they're their own boss, that they're serving their own food, and they're living their version of the American dream.
The American dream is the rock and roll lifestyle, right? And this is how we afford our rock and roll lifestyle.
I've been in 10 different states reviewing food trucks, and there's not a state in the United States of America that doesn't have a food truck in it. So get out there and find one, and if you can't find one, build it yourself.